Okay, so today we're going to be creating a beach party invite to be sent via email. So the first thing that we're going to do today is our layer panel is not visible. So anytime you can't see your layer panel or any panel for that matter and you need to pull it up, it's always going to be under your window menu in alphabetical order. So we're going to go window, layers. The ones that are open will have a check mark. So right now layers panel is not open, so we're going to click on it. Okay, there we go. So now we have our layers panel here. I'm actually going to pull it out so we can see it a little bit better. And we have several layers here that we are working with. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to click on our yellow paper layer, and we're going to be repairing this little section in the border. And we're going to repair this with a tool that you've used before, the spot healing brush tool. So if we go over to our layer panel, it's going to be the one that looks like the band-aid with the little dashes. So we're going to select the spot healing brush tool, and we can adjust the size of it, of course, in our options bar, or we can use the bracket keys to adjust the size of it. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click and drag across that area to mend it and to take care of it. So now that it doesn't look like the paper is torn anymore. So that was the first thing that we're going to fix. Now the second thing that we're going to fix is going to be the bird. So in our sky layer, if you click on your sky layer, we want to get rid of the bird so that it just looks like the sky with clouds. So we're going to use the content aware fill to do that. So we're going to first do an irregular selection around the bird with our lasso tool. So we're going to grab our lasso tool. It's the third tool down. It's hiding underneath. So you want to find the lasso tool, and then it's kind of like a pencil. You're just going to draw an irregular selection around the bird. Now to fill it in, you're going to go to the edit menu, edit, fill, and you're going to select content aware from the drop down menu. When you select content aware, it will survey the area and fill it in with like pixels. Now we're going to deselect. The shortcut to deselect is Command D or Control D if you're on a PC. The long way to do it is select, deselect. Now moving on to the text. We're going to be changing some text and aligning it and whatnot. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to pull up our rulers. So our rulers can be found under View, Rulers, or the shortcut for rulers is actually Command R or Control R if you're on a PC. So you're going to pull up your rulers. Now you can always change your rulers from pixels to inches or centimeters by double clicking and on the ruler up here, and it will pull up your preferences, and they can be changed right in here. But for now, we're going to leave it in inches. So with the ruler, we can create guides. Now, guides are not permanent parts of our project, but they're going to help us to line things up and organize things. So we're going to draw, we're going to grab our ruler, and we're going to put a guide. We're going to put a vertical guide. So I'm coming over here to my vertical ruler. I'm going to click, hold down my mouse, and drag a guide to the start of our first paragraph of text. Now you see there's a teal line going down. Again, it's not permanent part of our project. It's just to help us. And then I'm going to do a horizontal guide by clicking and dragging. We're going to put it on the baseline this time of this paragraph of text. And we're just going to use this to help us out while we work on our other section of text down here below. So we put it right here where the text began, and then we did right here at the baseline of this paragraph of text. Okay, so now that we've done that, we're gonna work on our beach party, our title. So find the beach party layer. Here it is. And what we want to do with this layer is we want to change it so that we can see the stroke outline of red, but not the pink. So in order to do this, we're going to change our fill. So I'll show you the difference. If we were to change our opacity of that layer, the whole visibility goes down. But if I change just the fill, only the fill of that layer will decrease. So it does not affect the actual effects that are on that layer, such as right now we have the stroke. So it did not affect the stroke. It only affects the opacity of the fill. So we're going to drag that the whole way down to 0. Again, if I were to drop my opacity for the whole layer, it would disappear. But because I only want to get rid of that pink, I'm just going to grab and reduce my fill of the layer, which does not have any effect on my layer effects right here. Okay, so now that we've taken care of that, put the fill at 0, we're now going to move on and we are going to be working with our text down here at the bottom. Now we want this paragraph to match and be the same as this paragraph. So we're going to take a look at this paragraph to start. So first of all, we're going to find it and we're going to double click on the thumbnail to select it. So I'm going to check out some things. I can see the font that was used, Arial, regular, the size, the color, the alignment. So now another thing that is really good to know when you're working with text is you can pull up the character panel. So let's first we're going to first adjust all our settings on this paragraph down here to match these. So we're going to do Arial and the same 43.8 and red. So we're going to double click on this layer. So we're going to change it to Arial. It's on red. It's already got the alignment. What was it? 43.84. Okay. And we're going to hit the check mark to commit. Now I'm going to grab my move tool and using actually this guide that I placed, I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to use this to help me align it. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the spacing between the group of letters, and that's called our tracking. And that can be found under our character panel. So I'm going to go to our layer that has this paragraph on it, and I'm going to go to Window, Character, and here is our character panel. Now this setting right here, if we hover over top of it, this will set our leading. It's our spacing between our lines of text. This is our kerning. If we hover over it, it will tell us it's this spacing between two characters. And this one is our tracking, and that is for a group of selected characters. So that's the one we're going to adjust. So we're going to go up to our first paragraph and check our tracking. So I click on it and I can see that our tracking is set to 10. So now I'm going to go back to this layer that has this paragraph on, and I'm going to adjust the tracking for this layer to be 10 also to match the other paragraph. So after I've done this, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get rid of the character panel. Okay, and now we're going to add the sun to the bottom of our graphic. So we're going to switch to the other tab and we're going to select the sun. So in order to do that, I'm going to click and hold down. I'm going to use the fourth tool and find my object selection tool, which is this one right here. I'm going to click, drag a box around it. It's going to survey the edges and make a selection from that. It's not too bad. I could clean it up to get rid of that white, but for our purposes, this should be okay. Then I'm going to copy and paste it onto a new layer in my invitation. So I'm going to do edit, copy, switch to my beach party, edit, paste. And okay, so now I'm grabbing the move tool. I am going to want to get rid of that white in there now that I'm looking at it. So in order to do that, I'm going to grab the tool that will allow me to select based on color, since I see that is all completely white. And so I'm going to go to my third tool down. My fourth tool down. I'm going to click and hold down. I'm going to grab my magic wand tool. The magic wand tool does select based on color. So I'm going to click inside the little white area, and then I'm going to hit delete on my keyboard to clean that up and get rid of it. I'm going to deselect, and I'm going to move into free transform mode to make it larger. So I'm going to go edit, free transform. It's actually already on that. And then I'm going to hold down shift to keep it proportional as I drag it, and that pink line lets me know that it is perfectly centered. I'm going to hit the check mark at the top to commit. Now at this point, I'm going to name this layer my sun layer, and I am going to grab it and drag it to the top of my layer stack. Now I do have 3 text layers. The text layers are indicated by the T's. So I'm going to actually group those together into a layer group to keep them organized. So I'm going to hold down Shift or Command, and I'm actually gonna click on all 3 of my text layers. And then down at the bottom of the layer panel, I'm gonna hit this little folder, and this will create a new group. So now all of those are inside it. I'm gonna rename it text. Now, it's consolidated everything, it's managed and easier to look at. So if I click on this, you can see all the text layers are still all together in there, but now they are contained. And then a couple more things before I do finish this and turn it in. I am going to convert this to the correct format for sending for email, which would be the correct color mode, I should say, for email. So that would be image mode RGB, which is what I was working at. So it's set up properly to be, if something's being created for web, or if we are, this is also Photoshop's native color language. So we've got it in RGB, and then I am going to clear the guides, so that's under view, also where guides and rulers are, and I'm just going to go guides, clear guides. And then at this point, we're gonna go ahead and turn this in.